Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Caleb, and today I am back with another reaction video. Now, today is the same reaction video, because, I remember, I did say before I will make a part 2 video reacting to Mr. Nightmare's Compilation 2016, but I am doing it right now, and so here we go. So, last time we left off at, the 7-Eleven thing, story, whatever. And yeah, so now we're about to leave off right here, which is about to reveal any minute. Alright, so anyhow, so let's get started, shall we? Alright, also if you like part 1, you can go check it out if you want to. Alright, here we go. Let's on the full screen and begin. The Smiling Man.
About 5 years ago,
Alright, so that's where we're leading off at.
City in the U.S. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for
he has a roommate.
And spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid.
Why would you walk at night?
I always used to joke with my roommates that
I mean, I do.
Were polite.
I do walk around the neighborhood, but sometimes a little bit like there's like lighting, like still like evening.
Somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning.
Burped a
And I
little.
was walking
My
near a
throat.
police patrolled park quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a
How is he
weekend.
gonna find his house or his
Very little
apartment
traffic and almost no one on foot.
if he's
The
walking
park,
that
as
way
it
where
was
the
most
river
nights,
is?
was completely empty. I went down a short side street in order to loop back down my apartment when I first noticed him. At the
Notice
far
who?
end of the street, on my side,
Who the
was
hell is
silhouette
that?
of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride.
Oh,
I guess you
what?
could say he was dance walking, headed straight
Dance
for me.
walking?
Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing a
Yeah,
red
he really
suit.
is tall. Look at that.
He danced
I see
closer
his
still
leggings.
until I could make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild.
Whoa.
Head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His
What
mouth
the-
was formed
Oh!
a painfully wide
Oh my
cartoon of a
God.
smile.
Oh,
Between the eyes of the smile,
that's
I decided to cross
That's
the street before he danced
crazy.
any
He's
closer.
insane or drunk.
I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back, and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street.
What is he
perfectly
doing?
parallel to me.
Oh no.
He was facing me, but still looking skyward. Smile
Oh
still
my
wide on his
God,
lips.
that's.
I
Oh
was completely and utterly
my
unnerved
God, that
by
guy.
this.
What
I
happened
started
to him?
walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved,
Of course they were.
I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved until I noticed him.
No, I don't
He
think
had
he's gone.
crossed the
Oh,
street
yep, he's still
and was
there.
now
He's still
slightly
there.
crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds,
What is he
so it
doing
was
now?
clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked, and I stood there for some time, staring at him.
Well,
And
what's
then
he doing
started
now?
moving toward me again. He
Oh, I
took
think he's
giant,
gonna
exaggerated
run after him or
tiptoed
something.
steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone, except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point that I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or cell phone or anything at all, but I
Wait,
didn't.
he had a pepper
I
spray?
just stood there, completely
That's weird.
frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me. And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling a smile, still looking to the sky.
Oh, what happened to
When
him?
I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What the fuck do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone.
Yeah, what does he
What came out was
want?
a whimper. What the fuck? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my
Well,
own
he
voice.
should be human. I
That
mean,
only made me more
look
afraid.
at him. Think about it.
But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever,
he's sitting there.
he turned around, very slowly,
Oh!
and started
God.
dance walking away. Just
God,
like that.
oh God, I hate that
I wanted
face.
to turn my back to him again. I just
Worse than
watched
those
him
glowing
go
eyes I keep
until he
seeing.
was far enough away to almost be out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror
Oh, I
as the
see him
distant
coming.
shape of him got bigger and bigger. He was coming back my way.
Oh no, he's running.
He was coming back my way.
Yeah, you better get
And
out
this
there.
time he was running. I ran
Oh shit.
I ran until
kind of
I
a
was
run
off
is
the
that?
side road and back onto
I guess.
a better
Actually, I
road
guess
with
as a
sparse
run.
traffic.
Guess humans do.
Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found.
Oh good.
The rest of my
he's
way
gone.
home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile. But
Oh,
he was
you better
never
get out there.
I lived in that city for 6 months after that, and I never went out for another walk. There was something
It's
about
only
his
walk at
face
night,
that
not at
always
day.
haunted
Oh
me.
no.
He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high.
Oh my god!
He looked
Oh my
completely
god.
and utterly insane.
Oh!
And that's a very, very
No,
scary
no.
thing to see.
Oh my god, it's really. Oh! Oh! Shit. Oh, the glowing eyes. Really? Alright, okay. True camping stories. Okay, let me pause right here. Alright, so far he was going out for a walk, and a man was smiling who was completely on like an insane amount of drugs, which wider eyes or something, which is scary. Oh man. That was. Wow. Oh boy. I don't know where he's getting all this stuff, but it is scary. Alright, alright. Sorry, try to speak. Continue.
So me and a couple of my buddies went camping last summer alongside the Willamette River.
Of course
We
they
actually
did.
had a decent hike into the deep end of the woods. We did some night fishing, listening to music, and
Who does
basically
night
drank to the
fishing?
point where everything was funny.
I mean,
late at
I
night.
do go fishing, but I never went
I would
night
guess we
fishing
finally
before.
called
That's
it a
a
night
little
somewhere
weird.
past 2 a.m. I shared a tent with one of my buds, while the other two shared another tent.
Ship out your phones
We
with
heard
you.
them laughing about something. At first we laughed at the sound of their laughing, but it soon got annoying and we yelled for them to shut up. One of them responded, "It isn't us."
Oh
I
no,
sat
it's
up,
not them?
startled at the response. I came to realize that it was the sound of only one person laughing, and it didn't sound
Who's
like
laughing?
either one of my friends. Even in my drunk state, I realized how odd it was for somebody to be out this far in the woods so late at night. The laughing gradually got closer and louder to our
What's going
camp.
on? Who is
My
out there
friend
and
shot up and
laughing?
looked at me with a worried look on his face.
Yeah, I know.
I heard
Look
the
at him.
other
He's
friends
really
scream over
worried.
to us that they were getting freaked out. As the
Of course they're
laughing
all
got even
freaked out. They're
closer,
all freaked out.
I could make it out very clearly to be the laugh of a male, probably in his 30s or 40s. He sounded like he was as drunk as us, messing around with friends, but we only heard his laugh, nobody else. There was
Well,
something
if you can hear his
indescribably
laugh, then
creepy
where
about
is
his
he? I
laugh,
don't
too,
see him.
as if it was missing something to it. You had to be there to understand what I mean. The laughing was now just at the edge of our campsite,
Oh god, I can hear it.
but we couldn't
Okay,
hear
it
any
got
footsteps
louder.
at all. Now that may not seem like a big deal. It was impossible to move through that without making noise.
Should grab all your
Finally,
stuff to be
All of a
safe.
sudden, the laughing stopped completely.
Of course it stopped.
We had no idea where whoever that was standing, as he hadn't made a single stepping sound. We sat there in silence looking at each other. My friend was clearly freaking out, but he was keeping it together the best he could.
Of course he
Finally,
is.
something broke the silence.
What?
The sound of something rubbing against the cottony fabric of the tent. We saw the outline of
Whoa!
a hand through the moonlight, pressing on the
Whoa,
tent.
who is that?
We both screamed at the top of our lungs before getting out of the tent. We ran as fast as we could.
You guys
through the
didn't grab
woods,
your stuff?
with other friends following us. After about 5
Oh, they're
minutes of
following. Okay,
running,
good.
we
Somehow,
somehow
okay, I
found
thought they
the
got
point.
killed or something.
I actually puked from running so much before taking the
How do you
wheel.
puke from running?
I don't condone drinking and driving, but I still believe we
You're
were
just gonna
best
leave
in
your
this
stuff
situation.
there?
By far the most horrific experience
Oh
of
my god,
life.
why would they do
No
that?
idea who or what the hell that was, or
I don't know
what
who
they
that
wanted.
was either. Oh man. Alright, okay, so far we have So far, he had three friends going on a camping trip, but someone or something was laughing, and then they don't know who it was, and I don't know who it was either. But it was clearly freaky and unknown. I don't like when stuff are unknown that much. All right, all right, continue. Oh, of course, advertisement. All right, no one cares. No one cares. All right, here we go. All right, nightmares that read into reality. What does that mean?
I was having a horrifying dream, possibly the most disturbing nightmare of my life.
Wait,
I
what?
was in my house, or the closest thing
Oh,
to my
okay.
house that my dream could
So
produce.
he's just
Ironically
doing a
enough, I
girl
was in
version
bed
of
in
him,
this dream, or at least I can only
except
start
for he's a
remembering
male
past the
telling
point
the
of my lying
story.
in bed. And all of a sudden,
Whoa!
the sound came from downstairs. I walked downstairs in
Shit,
the
that
dark,
scared the
not turning on
shit
any
out of me.
lights, to where I thought the
What the
sound was coming
fuck?
from. I was on my middle floor now. The dream was telling me to
Oh
go
no,
downstairs to my
don't go
laundry
down there,
room,
please.
and so I did. But as I got there, expecting the noise to be louder and closer, it sounded like it was just as far as before. Now I was going upstairs to the kitchen, and it's strange.
Jesus
Outside of
fuck!
every window was complete blackness.
Of course, it's
Not
dark.
general nighttime
Wait,
darkness.
what?
There was nothingness. I think all that existed in this dream was my house.
Wait,
Now my dream started to
what the hell
suggest that the banging sounds were
is he
coming
in
from
outer
upstairs.
space?
So I went back
Or is she in
upstairs
outer
and was
space?
eventually led to the attic door.
Whoa!
It was surely beyond
What's
that door.
going on?
I opened it. There was an old woman standing by a bunch of boxes. She was
An old
slowly
woman.
but loudly slamming her hand on one of the boxes, producing an unnatural sound.
Oh, so that's the noise.
I tried to quietly step back away from the attic, but the old woman turned around, opened her mouth twice as wide as anyone
What?
humanly could, reached out her arms, began to
Oh,
scream,
God!
and leap
Oh, God.
toward me.
Oh
That's when I
god.
woke up. I thought it was just a horrific
Ever
dream,
know,
but when I heard a bang coming
wider
from
that
downstairs,
mouth open? Oh,
a bang similar to what I heard in my dream,
no.
I felt my
Is
heart
that
completely
woman?
drop. On my way downstairs, there was another bang. It was the front door.
Oh no.
I got the butcher knife from my knife holder in the kitchen
Alright, good.
and crouched
Protect
behind
yourself.
the door. I was waiting for the next time he would pound on the door, and I would warn him to go away. I waited for a good minute in silence, and finally decided to take a quick look through the window. There was somebody standing in my driveway. I couldn't
Wait,
tell
who's
if
that?
he was facing me or looking at me or not, but he was surely the one who was pounding on my door at 4 in the morning.
Oh,
He
he's
walked
walking
away
away.
down the sidewalk moments after he must have
What is he
noticed me.
doing?
The pounding on my door was the kind of pounding you would expect from someone trying to break in a door,
Is he really
not to
gonna
get a
sit
house
on,
owner's
or is she
attention.
really gonna sit on the steps
I
like
thought
that?
it was just crazy and horrifying that the pounding and banging from this potential robber or killer didn't wake me up. Rather, it became the key point to a horrifying dream.
Oh man. Alright, okay, so wait. Oh, alright, sorry, try to speak. The motel. Yeah, that's called the
I was
motel. The
19 years
motel.
old.
Sorry, I was trying to speak. Alright, okay. Now let me stop right here. Alright, so far this is the girl version of him. He had a dream where a woman was hitting stuff, and then that's the nightmare. Then the robber or whatever that guy was called was outside banging on his house and everything. Was like, it's like the craziest thing I ever seen. I was like, oh man, getting a little scarier. All right, continue.
At the time, working at a sketchy motel. The motel was pretty run down, and the majority of people who stayed there were locals that were just doing things they weren't supposed to be doing. Let's just
I
say
wish
the
it could have
cops
been a
came by
house.
multiple times a week. I worked as both a front desk person, checking in these creeps.
Is
all
that the
hours
same
of the
person
night,
you used
and
for
as
his
a
other
housekeeper
story?
who got to clean up their nasty, vomit-smelling rooms afterwards.
Okay, it's another girl
One
version of
afternoon, I was
her.
working as a housekeeper
I mean him,
in the
not
second
him.
building of the
What the
motel
fuck?
on the backside furthest from the office. I hated working over there because it not only had the most worn-down rooms, but it was always pretty vacant over there and way too quiet for comfort.
Of course it is.
I began cleaning one of my last rooms and wanted to get done in a hurry because it was getting late. I was washing the mirror in the room that I was cleaning when all of a sudden I saw a man in the reflection staring at me. He was mid-50s, dirty, with long, greasy hair. Startled, I screamed, "Oh my God." I told him he scared me.
Of
The room I was
course.
currently cleaning was vacant, so there was no reason why this man should have been in there watching me clean. However, we just had a meeting on customer satisfaction, and my
How can
boss
you
was
have
really
meetings with
pressuring
that?
us to be more polite and help the guests any way we could. Sir? I asked him cautiously. Can I get you anything? Towels? The man just stared back at me with a crooked grin and held out his hands to me. I thought maybe
What
he
is
was
he
handing me a
doing?
tip for cleaning his room earlier, but when I looked down, I saw he was holding $100 bill. Alarms started going off in my head.
Well, good. Take it.
No one tips $100 on a $40 a night room. The man just smiled and said his name was Terry. He said he was staying in the room next
Harry,
door
that's
with
his
his
name.
wife Sherry, and sort of joked about their names rhyming. He smelled like car oil and alcohol. When
And
I asked
wife's
him why
name
he
is
was trying to
Sherry.
hand
Of
me
course, their names
$100,
both
he laughed
rhyme.
deep in his throat and said, "Me and my wife were watching you, and we just wanted to have fun with you."
What?
I felt like my heart jumped into my
I feel like
throat.
that's not a joke.
No, I can't do that, sir. I'm sorry. I wanted to run out of the room screaming, but he was blocking the door, my only exit. The man smiled again, taking on a softer tone of
I guess
voice,
it's not
and
that
invited me to
scary.
come into
It's
his room to meet his wife,
they're just like
to
normal
talk as
people, like
friends.
murdering or
I nervously
robbing,
told him no
robbing
again,
stuff or
and then I had a
something.
lot of work to do for the day. I prayed to God he would just go away, and eventually he did. He grunted and walked off in what I assumed to be the
Alright,
direction
well,
of his
good.
room.
He went away.
My mind began racing. There is no wife, I thought. This man could try and kidnap me. I was 110 pounds at the time and not very
Of course
strong.
he
Could
was.
easily overpower me. I locked the room from the inside and went directly to the phone to call my manager at the front desk, but the phone wasn't working.
Why is
Adrenaline
she,
began
or why
pumping
is he
through my
calling?
veins, and despite what I was always
calling
told
him?
not to do, I was panicking. Did he cut the line? No, I thought. This is a crappy motel. It happens all the
Yeah,
time.
I think he did.
But I just have to get out. I remembered that I had my cell phone out on my housekeeping card, but that was outside the locked
Oh,
door.
good. Lucky for you.
I'd have to open the door to get it. I cautiously opened the door to the room that I was cleaning and peered out. I didn't
236.
see anyone, so I frantically began searching my cart for my cell phone. I was wasting too much time looking for it, so I just decided to run as fast as I could and make a break for the front desk in the office.
Why is he, or why is she
Then
running?
from behind me, I heard the man again, but this time he was screaming
Oh, yeah,
to someone
from
else.
that
She's running,
that
she's
man.
getting away. I could hear his
Right,
shoes
right.
slamming
I'm
against
saying,
the
well,
pavement after me.
he's actually telling like a
I
ghost
quickly
story,
turned
but
the
it's
corner,
like
grabbed my
a
key card,
girl
and let
version of
myself
him.
into a stockroom and locked the door. Within moments, I heard
It's
the
just a
sound of
little
the dirty
confusing.
guy and someone else
Everything.
running outside, searching for me. I stayed in that stockroom for 30 minutes shaking until I could no longer hear him searching
Of
for
course,
me.
you're shaking in
I
fear.
finally got the courage to run the rest of the way to the front desk.
Oh, good, you made it.
When
Oh,
I made it there, I
reception.
collapsed into my boss's arms and he called the police. The man and whoever else was in the room with him peeled out before
That's
the cops
strange.
arrived.
She's
I was
hugging
beyond
him.
shaken up.
She's hugging him
According to
like
the police
like
who ran the
father and
search,
daughter or
this wasn't the
something.
first time he had done something like this, and he was
Of course
actually
they are.
wanted for sexual
No,
assault,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
gross
kidding.
sexual imposition, and in the past was once charged with rape. A few weeks later, on what happened to be my birthday, this guy was caught. A few weeks after
Oh, the
that,
guy
I
was
quit.
caught on his or hers birthday.
I will never again work at another motel.
I will. Good. Don't. All right. So far, he was working at a motel and he met this guy, was trying to kill him or her, whatever, and all that stuff. And then bam, he gets arrested and everything. Yeah. All right. We'll continue once again. All right. What's next? I think it's something over. Okay, scary algebra board stories. Oh, algebra. Wait, actually no. I mean Ouija, not Ouija.
Ever
I
since
mean
I
not
can
algebra.
remember,
Sorry.
we've always had one of those.
Well, I said algebra 'cause the
vintage
O
Parker
and
brother. We wondered what it
everything.
was
Wait,
sitting in
oh,
our
whoops.
closet collecting dust.
Sorry.
When I
about
was a
that.
kid, I always wondered what it was.
Actually, no.
Funny
Let me
buttons,
start over here a
one of
little.
those old.
All right.
Ever since
Sorry
I
about
can
that.
remember, we've always had one of those old vintage Parker brother Ouija boards sitting in our closet collecting dust. When I was a kid, I
Why would
always
you
wondered
keep it
what
there?
it was.
Gonna get all
From the
dusty.
box, it seemed like a horrible board game.
William
Until
Flew?
one day I found out what a Ouija board really is.
Why say
and
William
immediately dug it
Flute?
out of the closet. I
Does he
insisted on my
make
brother
the
trying
Ouija
it out
boards?
with me, and eventually got him to play along. We put our hands on the planchette, and I began asking the typical cliche questions like, is there anybody there? And can you answer me? Other than my brother jokingly moving the planchette around to imitate an answer from some kind of entity, there was no real
that was
response.
his brother.
After
Joking
getting bored,
around.
we put the game back in the box. I did a little research that night to find out how to make Ouija boards work. Many people said
don't
online
search
the
that.
most ideal environment
Why
when
does it
using a
say
Ouija
military
board
time on
is in a
there?
dark room only lit by
21:38.
candles. So when my parents
Guessing
were
it
at
also
home,
means,
I managed to gather like 6 or 7 candles and convinced my brother to
9
try it one more
o'clock.
time.
9:38.
I
Yeah.
lit the candles
PM.
and set them around the table in the dining room with all the lights out. We tried one more time. I asked again if there was anybody there. The planchette began to move. I told my brother to stop moving it, but he swore he wasn't. I told him to move his hand away,
Wait,
and he did.
if there.
It kept moving. My
Well,
brother thought I was
Oh,
messing
I
with him,
just
but
realized
I didn't pay
that
attention.
he realized that it wasn't
The
moving.
planchette landed on the word yes. I was only 9.
But
so
why
I
is
was
he
legitimately
using
shitting
his
myself.
hands if it's moving
My
by
older brother
itself?
had to take over. He asked the question, "Are you a good spirit?" There was a 5-second pause before my brother's hand moved along with the planchette to the word no.
No, he's not a
We
good
both looked at
spirit.
each other, and at this point I ran to my room and shut the door behind me, but he continued on with the so-called game. I heard his muffled voice come from down in the dining room, when all of a sudden I heard him screaming at the top of his lungs.
Well, what
I
happened?
ran back downstairs to see what was wrong. He was holding up his shirt, revealing a small open wound.
Oh,
that
what
almost
happened?
looked like a claw mark.
Like that was the
He told me to
ghost?
set the fireplace immediately, and I obeyed. He threw the thing in the fireplace and told me to never speak of what
Why
happened
would
to
you throw the
anybody.
thing in the fireplace? You could just
We have
throw it
never
away or
used a
give it to
Ouija
someone.
board since.
That is weird. Alright, okay, let's see. Alright. So wait, what's it say? Oh, hide and seek horror stories. Alright, okay. Alright, let me pause right there. Alright, so far we have well he's with his brother playing Ouija, and then they start realizing that the Ouija board was moving by itself and everything, and it was like, and then I mean, sorry, what I meant to say was then his brother got like a scar on him and everything. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a little weird. All right. Well, all right. Now let's continue. All right. All right. I think this is gonna be scarier because it says hide and seek. And people get missing when they go hide and go seek.
When I was a kid, my
Oh, no,
parents
no,
would
no,
sometimes
yeah.
bring me down to my aunt and uncle's place
Bad
to
joke.
stay for the weekend. Mainly, I'd spend
Oh,
time
that's
playing
nice.
with my 2 cousins who were around the same age as me.
How do
We
they
lived
climb
on
that
a small
tree?
farm with plenty of open space, and
It's
we could
like-
run
like
around
almost like
doing pretty much whatever
5
we
to
wanted.
10 feet tall.
If we
with
thought
that
we could get away with it,
branch
the
thing.
3 of us would sometimes cross over to the neighboring farm about half a mile away. It had been abandoned for decades, with a scattering of derelict buildings and other structures still standing on
I'm
the
pretty
property,
sure that's a
just
house.
begging
I
to
think
be
that's the
explored.
barn right there.
This was, of course, a gold mine for 3 adventurous young boys such as ourselves. Especially after my cousins
Wait, oh,
told
no,
me
no, don't
stories
go in
about
there.
the deaths that took place in the
Is
house.
he, or
It was
their,
pretty
their
classic
house.
fare. Man goes crazy,
Whoa.
axe murders his entire family, hangs himself, returns every night as an angry spirit looking for
Why
new
would he
victims.
hang himself?
Good, grisly stuff.
He's gonna kill himself.
Even at
if
that
he's gonna-
age, I
he
knew
can't
they were
come back.
probably making it up, or at
No.
least embellishing old rumors. But seeing as how the setting lent itself so well to such
I think
tales,
that's him.
I allowed myself to buy into it. One afternoon, we decided to play hide and seek. When it was my turn to hide, I ran off for a flimsy brown barn
Oh,
that had living
no.
quarters on top, and climbed
No,
the stairs
no,
looking
no,
for a good
no.
spot.
And again, I don't think that's a
There was
barn.
still
That's a
furniture
house.
inside, and personal belongings lay scattered across the floor. I maneuvered over broken dishes, tattered clothes, and crumbling books,
Oh, no,
eventually
don't
coming to a
go.
small room with a closet. Jackpot. There were even long black
Don't-
dresses still
don't
hanging on the
go
rod
in
that I
there.
could hide behind. I
should
stepped
take the
inside
dresses
and
for your
managed to
mom.
force shut the
I'm just
building
kidding.
door.
Oh no, what is he
My only
doing?
illumination was a slit of sunlight that shone through the crack in the door from a nearby window. I crouched down with knees tucked into chest and waited.
Don't smile. This
Some time
is a
passed
creepy
when there was still no sign
house.
of my seekers. I waited some more, debating if and when I should give myself up. After nearly an hour, this was starting to get boring. My head
Oh
drooped.
no. Oh, he got tired.
I woke with a jerk.
Whoa.
It was pitch black. Drowsy and confused, I forgot for a minute where I was or what I had been doing.
You were in the closet, you were playing hide and
As it
seek,
came
and your
back to
brother...
me,
So,
the
or no,
realization
not
that it
brothers.
was now
And your cousins
nighttime
never
and
found
I
you?
had been abandoned here filled me with sinking dread in the pit of my stomach. I tried to get up, but a sudden cramp in my calf kept me grounded.
What?
I squirmed about,
What
waiting
kept
for
him
it to
grounded?
pass, when I heard a door slamming shut downstairs. And
Wait,
instantly
what is
froze.
that? That's a creepy doll I've seen with the sharp
One of my
teeth.
cousins? There was a brief period of
I don't think that's
silence,
your
then
cousins.
footsteps at the bottom of the stairs. But not just footsteps, a thud too. After every other
I
step,
think someone or something's coming.
these weren't the footfalls of a child.
Oh, creepy
They
doll.
were slow, heavy, deliberate.
Maybe like Jigsaw.
I held my breath, praying they would go away. They did not. The noises continued to ascend.
Who is that coming?
After another moment of silence, the walking resumed. This time, along with a steady
Wait, oh.
scraping sound,
Oh
like
my
something
God.
heavy being dragged
He
across
does
the
not know us.
floorboards.
That person's
The
carrying a
footsteps
sack,
made
and
their
there's
way
actually
through
a
the
dead
debris
body
and
in
wandered
there.
aimlessly through the various rooms.
Of course, there's
I thought I
blood.
could smell something faintly
Did you not mention the
putrid.
blood?
The constant scrape sent cold shivers
Yeah, it's a
coursing down
sack.
my arms and
Carrying a
back.
body.
My worst fears were realized when the steps reached the bedroom doorway. They got closer and closer
Oh,
and
no.
finally stopped directly in front of the closet door. I couldn't
Oh
see
no,
a thing.
he's scared.
After an agonizing pause,
Okay,
they
he's
continued
going.
on over to the other side of the
Or-
room and out the doorway again.
Or it's
They
going.
faded away down the
Or
hallway.
whoever that person or thing is.
I waited for what seemed like an eternity. There were no more
could
sounds
be
now,
human,
and
'cause
I
it
was
was
trying to
walking,
build up
carrying a
enough
body.
courage to open the door and flee. 3 things happened simultaneously just then. I was bombarded with a smell I can only describe as fresh roadkill.
Oh, gross.
I heard raspy
Wait, is that
breathing
breathing?
behind me in the dark closet, and I felt hot breath against the nape of my neck. That was enough for me to
Oh
hurl
my God,
myself
get
out
out
from
there.
the confines of that nightmare space, relying on memory and scant moonlight to navigate through the
Oh my
darkened
God,
house.
does he not notice the
All
blood
the while, I
everywhere?
heard footsteps chasing behind me, closing in with terrifying speed. It was
Oh,
a
man, you
clumsy,
better get out
torturous
there.
escape, full of trips and bumps and blind stumbling. I never looked
Well, I don't
back,
see the person
at
coming.
least not until I had burst out the front door and
Oh,
into the
good,
country
made
night.
it.
And when I did turn
It's
around,
raining.
I saw absolutely nothing.
Oh, no one's there.
There
Maybe it
were
was
no
his
more
echoed
footsteps, and nobody was
footsteps.
chasing me. That didn't stop me from running, though, all the way back to my aunt and uncle's house.
Oh, good.
There was a police
He
car in the
sees red and
driveway
blue
when I got
lights.
back. My parents were there too, worried sick. Everybody demanded to know where I'd been. Apparently, when my cousins still hadn't found me by evening, they'd returned home to tell their parents. Eventually, the police were called in and informed me that they had already scoured every building on the farm. The insinuation that I was lying about my whereabouts didn't go unnoticed. None of it made any sense.
Of course, none of it made any
It
sense.
wasn't until years later that one of my
Oh, 'cause
cousins
they got
filled in
older.
a final piece of the story. He and his brothers had spent hours searching for me like they said, but the
Looks like
part
he
they
won
didn't
hide and
tell
seek.
anyone was that they thought they spotted me in the window of the bedroom I was hiding in. When they got closer, they saw that it wasn't me.
It wasn't him.
A young boy neither of them recognized
Oh,
was
wait, is that a
smiling and waving down at them
Kid?
and gesturing for them to come upstairs. That's when they ran
Is that
back
the
home.
kid that was dragging that dead
All of
body?
this while I slept in the closet.
Oh, that's why he slept in the closet. That's a little weird. I mean, or scary, yeah. Alright, let me pause right here. Alright, so far, it's him when he was a little kid. He was playing hide and seek with his cousins. He was hiding in this abandoned house, and that was slept in there for like 30 minutes or an hour or so, and then someone or something, and I'm guessing that kid was carrying a dead body and everything, but lucky he escapes, and oh wow, that was really scary. Alright, continue. Alright, a Christmas horror story.
This story took place about
It was
5
like a
years ago
Halloween
on
and
Christmas
Christmas
Eve
story.
night. It was around 1 in the morning.
and I had just
Oh,
finished
it's
placing
another girl
presents under the
version of
tree.
him.
I went upstairs to brush up and everything, then came back downstairs to the kitchen to get a glass of water before bed. My son Jake, who was 4 at the time, was standing by the stairs leading to
Doesn't
the
look
basement.
forward to me.
I asked him what he was doing up so late. He pointed down the stairs and said, "Santa." I picked him up and carried him back to his room.
Why would
I
Santa
took
be
a
down
glass of
there?
water and went to bed. I woke up around an hour later to my son running down the hall outside my room. I
Why would he
sighed
run
and
down
got
in the
out of
dark?
bed. As I was going down the stairs, I saw Jake by the tree looking at presents. Then he ran past me into the basement stairs again. He pointed down the stairs again. This time I looked down the stairwell, and my heart dropped as I saw a black
think
figure
that's Santa
sitting on
down
the
there.
bottom step.
Oh
I
no, I
almost
don't think
screamed,
that's
but I
Santa.
somehow held it in. I pulled my son quietly away from the basement door and closer to the front door of the
Yeah,
house.
you better get out of there.
I moved my hand away from my son's mouth to reach for the lock in the doorknob.
Who was
I
that?
tried to pull the door open as quietly as possible, but it was pointless. The squeaky hinges let out the usual ear-piercing screeches, and I cringed in my mouth and eyes as I did. Suddenly, there were heavy stomps coming from up the basement stairs. I screamed
Oh
and
no!
pushed open the
Oh no!
screen
He's
door and
coming! He's
practically
coming!
threw
Yeah,
Jake
get out
outside.
there! Yeah, get the
I shut
fuck
both
out there!
doors behind us, and we ran to the neighbor's house. I rang the doorbell as fast as possible, probably 30 times before they answered. After that, we went inside and stayed there and waited for the police.
Oh
Whoever
man!
that person was gone, though, as determined after the police
You
conducted
could
a
have just
thorough
shot him. You
investigation
could have just
of
had
the
a gun
house.
for like a handicap.
I ended up lying to Jake, telling him
Of
that
course
actually
he
was Santa
or she
Claus.
did.
But a few years later, he remembered the incident.
Oh, I think
and
that's
became a
his
little
son
more
when
wise to what
he
actually
was older.
happened.
And I'm guessing realizing that figure down there was not Santa. Oh wait, what was it? Was that? Alright. Wow, okay, that was that was really scary. Alright. So far his son or her son was thought that was Santa down there, but it wasn't Santa, it was like a figure down there in the basement. I don't know why it would hide down there. But it was gone, and he was older and realized that wasn't Santa. Oh, that was really scary. Alright, right now guys, that was Mr. Nightmare's compilation of 2016. That was part 2 of it, and that's the whole entire reaction. Oh man, I don't want to react to this again. Alright, well, right now guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. But please don't watch it. If you really want to, you can watch it. Just don't watch it if you're scared, okay? Alright, well, anyhow, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!